I was out of work for a while, so when I saw a listing for an overnight security job, I didn't think twice. The pay was decent, and they said I wouldn't have to do much. Just walk the halls a few times, make sure no one breaks in, that kind of thing. The catch? It was at an old abandoned hospital on the edge of town. The place had been shut down for years. No power, no patients, just an empty shell of what used to be. But I needed the money, so I took the job. The building was massive, 5 floors and a basement. The power was completely cut, so they gave me a flashlight and a portable radio. No cameras, no working phones inside, just me in the empty halls. My first shift started at 10 p.m. I met a guy named Rick, who had been working there for a few weeks. He was finishing his shift as I arrived. He looked tired, pale. Right before leaving, he gave me a look and said, "If you hear anything, just ignore it. Don't go looking." I laughed it off, but he didn't smile back. He just walked out into the night. The place was quiet, dead quiet. I walked the first and second floors slowly, checking rooms with my flashlight. Everything was coated in dust, old gurneys, cracked monitors, faded charts still hanging from beds. There was a strange smell, not quite rot, but something stale, like time itself had gone bad. I tried to stay near the main hallways, but every now and then, I'd hear small sounds from the patient rooms. A shuffle, a soft creak, a whisper of movement. I told myself it was just the building settling. Around 1 a.m., I decided to check the basement. The door was heavy and stuck, like it hadn't been opened in a while. The second I stepped down into the stairwell, the temperature dropped. It was freezing. I clicked on my flashlight and started descending. Each step creaked under my boots. Dust floated in the beam of light. At the bottom, the hallway stretched out in both directions. Pitch black, silent. I turned right. That's when I heard it. A door slowly creaking shut behind me. I spun around, nothing. Just the empty corridor. But the door I came through was now closed, and I hadn't touched it. I tried the handle. Locked. My radio buzzed softly, crackling in my jacket. Then a voice, barely above a whisper, "Don't go further." My breath caught in my throat. I tried responding, but the radio was dead again. Just static. I kept walking. What else could I do? The halls felt endless. Every room I passed had its door slightly open. Inside, old equipment, broken beds, scattered paperwork. Then I passed one room that made me stop. There were fresh footprints in the dust. Not mine. Smaller, bare feet. They led inside. I stood there, flashlight shaking slightly in my hand. Then from deeper down the hallway, I heard crying. A woman, soft, broken sobs echoing off the walls. It sounded real. Not a recording, not imagination. It was coming from somewhere in the darkness. I followed the sound slowly, turning my light in every direction. The sobs grew louder, more desperate. They were coming from a room at the very end. Its door was half open. As I approached, the crying stopped. Just like that. I pushed the door open fully. The room was empty, except for one thing. A single rusted hospital bed in the center, straps still hanging loose from its sides. The mattress was wet, fresh. I backed out of the room. Every instinct in my body was screaming at me to leave. That's when I heard the dragging. Heavy, slow. Something was moving behind me. I turned, shined my light. Nothing. But the sound continued. Closer, like nails or fingers scraping across the floor. I ran. I didn't care where. I just needed to get back to the stairs. But the hallway felt longer than before, like it was stretching. And as I ran, the overhead lights, the ones that were supposed to be off, began to flicker on, one by one, as if something was following me. I reached the stairwell. The door was wide open again, no lock. I didn't question it. I just ran up, 2 steps at a time, until I burst back onto the first floor. The temperature was normal again. Everything was quiet. Still. I went to the security office and sat down, trying to catch my breath. The radio crackled to life again. A voice I didn't recognize whispered, "You shouldn't have gone down there." When Rick came in the next morning, I told him everything. He didn't laugh, didn't call me crazy. He just nodded and said, "That's why I leave the basement alone." I asked him if he knew what was down there. He said he didn't, but every guard who spent more than one night down there quit, except him, and now, me. That was 3 weeks ago. I've kept the job, but I never go near the basement anymore. Even now, as I sit in the security office at 3:12 a.m., I can hear something moving beneath my feet, dragging across the floor, stopping under the exact spot where I'm sitting. Sometimes I wonder, what happens if I answer when it calls again? But I don't want to find out. Not tonight.